Hi everyone, we are introduced to the amazing world of dreams in this week's parsha and in last week's parsha. And Yosef is the dream interpreter. The brothers call him the Bala Chalomos. They say it negatively, the dreamer boy, but the Torah calls him the master of dreams. He's the interpreter. Let's understand something about dreams is incredibly deep understanding. There's two parts of the mind. There's what's called the seichel and what's called the dimion. The part of the mind that's the rational part that controls things, that thinks about things, that is logical. And that is a very important component. And that part keeps me grounded to know what's right, to be critical of my thinking. But there's another part called the dimion. Dimion is the imagination. We call it in English, much more than that. But it's crucial to the part of my thinking. So in other words, I might know something is true, but can I expand the idea till I feel it? So I might say, doing mitzvahs gets you the world to come. Okay, great. Now, what is the world to come? I have no idea, but now I can imagine if it's greater than all the pleasures I can imagine in the world. I could feel it. I could imagine. I could have some connection. So much so, the Mussar rabbis say the difference between a righteous person and an evil person is their power of imagination. If you know information but you cannot extrapolate it, and dimion, the word dimion is not imagination, is compare one thing to another, to extrapolate the idea, I won't feel anything. This is the two parts of the mind. It's called chachma and bina, which means I know something and then I can extrapolate and build on it with my imagination to the point where I feel it, which is why bina is connected to the heart. Now, when you go to sleep at night, the power of your seichel, the logical control, is gone. And the sages tell us part of your soul leaves you. And therefore, you're left as imagination. So if you've been thinking about stuff during the day, or you ate some spicy Mexican food before you went to sleep, so that's creating images in your mind because the power of imagination is unbridled. That is the understanding of how dreams work. Different levels to it. You can check our longer class on this. But that is what's happening in your power of imagination. Every person, if you only have your seichel, your knowledge, you'll get stuck. You need to have the ability to expand it, but expanded imagination to the point where it's disconnected from truth is very dangerous. As a matter of fact, it's called the root of the Yetzer Hara is my imagination. Oh, I'm dreaming of something, and I imagine myself in this way and that way, and you can enter the world of illusion. And now imagination, therefore, is the power of desire. And it's important, it's needed in the world. Without desire, we don't go forward. But you have to understand, imagine a guy who gives up his whole life for 1 minute chasing, running off with his secretary, God forbid. What happened? He imagined this is going to be the greatest thing. His power of dimion, of illusion, got to him. When you sleep, the power of imagination is unbridled. And it could be thoughts you had in the day, or subconscious emotions, which is the world that Freud went into, or the deeper understanding of there's a higher level that's being shown to you, or the higher level of dreams, even the level that is a part of prophecy, but it's all coming back to you in these pictures and this imagination. And therefore, the person who can interpret the dream is only the person who has purified his power of imagination. That's Yosef. Yosef's ability to hold himself back in the place of desire represented he could use his expansion of the truth, the power of Yaakov. He could expand it and build it. And that's why he's called the spark. Yaakov is the fire, but Yosef is the spark. He takes the truth and he brings it into Egypt, the place of problems. And the imagination could be running crazy. Oh, this woman, maybe she's for me. He sees the signs she's for him. He's alone. He's a slave. All of the illusions he can go to, but Yosef cuts through it and says the truth within the illusion. And therefore, he is the dream interpreter and the master of the dreams. We have to understand in ourselves, this power of imagination is crucial. Use it well. Connect it always to the source of what's true, and then expand. Imagine what I can be. Who can I be? If you don't see what you can be, you'll never get there. That is the crucial part of the imagination. As Maimonides says, when it is the servant of the mind, it is the greatest thing in the world. When it runs away free, we live in a world of illusion that we can never catch because it's not real. Let's be in the world of reality. All the best.